Hello everyone and welcome back to Where in the World, a series here on Go Westeros. In this episode, just like we did last time, we will be looking at 3 minor houses of Westeros, what they've been up to, where in the world they are, and how they pertain to the overall story as it's being told. In the last episode, we looked at houses Stokeworth, Kerwin and Redwine, and this week we will be looking at House Marbrand from the Westerlands, House Darry from the Riverlands, and House Swann from the Stormlands. At this point, I should mention that this does contain spoilers for all 5 novels of A Song of Ice and Fire, so if you're not up to date, I would not continue on much further. I'm your host, Jack, and let's dive right in. Burning bright are the words of House Marbrand of the town of Ashmark from the Westerlands. Their sigil is an orange burning tree on a smoky field. Their stone castle is also called Ashmark. It sits atop a hill with its town flushing and flourishing below it. It is situated southeast of the crag, northeast of the Golden Tooth, and north of Sarsfield. The current Lord of Ashmark is Lord Daemon Marbrand, and they are one of the principal houses sworn to the Lannisters of Casterly Rock. In history, House Marbrand was formed by a union of First Men and Andal nobles during the Andal invasion. One of the famous historical members of the house is Sir Laurent Marbrand, who was a member of the Kingsguard during the reign of King Viserys Targaryen I. Our first introduction of House Marbrand during the events of A Song of Ice and Fire come at the hand of the tourney in A Game of Thrones, which is of course the Hands tourney, when among the gathered knights is one with the arms of House Marbrand. That's it. That's the first sort of hint we get at the house. Not very much. The first real introduction we get comes from Sir Adam Marbrand, the heir of Ashmark. It is noted that Sir Adam is one of Lord Tywin Lannister's most daring commanders. When Tyrion Lannister is arrested at the hands of Catelyn Stark in the Riverlands, Lord Tywin calls his banners and begins to raid them. Commanding Tywin's outriders is Sir Adam himself. Adam is the one to report to his liege lord that the young wolf Robb Stark is marching down the causeway with a northern host. In the opening weeks of the War of the Five Kings, Tywin orders Sir Adam to withdraw and harass the opposing forces' flanks, while Tywin marches his host north to engage them. Sir Adam and his men raid the area around the twins and skirmish against the soldiers of House Frey. At the Battle of the Green Fork, Sir Adam commands Tywin's right wing. His numbers are 4,000 mounted men and 3/4 of Tywin's knights. Amongst those knights are Sir Flemont Brax and men from both Crakehall and Cornfield. Although the battle itself was a means to distract Tywin whilst Robb Stark falls onto Jaime Lannister at the Whispering Wood, Sir Adam informs Lord Tywin that they have captured Lord Medgar Kerwin, Sir Wylis Manderley, Harrion Karstark and 4 Freys. Following receiving news of the defeat at the Whispering Wood, Tywin holds council. Sir Adam counsels against seeking a truce with the Northerners and advises marching on them. Tywin then moves his host to the giant fortress of Harrenhal, using Sir Adam and his men to screen their movements. It's also interesting to note that Sir Adam is among the select few alternatives when Tywin names Tyrion as acting hand of the king. Yeah, a trusted man by Lord Tywin is Sir Adam. This says to me that not only are Sir Adam and by an extent the rest of House Marbrand's friends and loyal bannermen to the Lannisters, even Tywin sees Sir Adam as a capable commander and ruler. Pretty damn good. When we come to a clash of kings, Sir Adam and his men leave a day before the rest of Tywin's forces from Harrenhal. He was well liked by the women of Harrenhal, and it is Whis that remarks him to be the most daring commander in Tywin's army. He then rides to the west to connect back with Tywin in an attempt to cross the Red Fork, but they are thrown back 3 times at the Battle of the Fords. This defeat turns Tywin's focus south to King's Landing when he receives word of an imminent attack by Stannis Baratheon. Later, after the Battle of Blackwater, Sir Adam distinguishes himself defending the city and is recognised by King Joffrey. He is given the position of Commander of the City Watch of King's Landing. Before we move on to House Marbrand's events in the Song of Swords, it is important to note that during Robb Stark's campaign in the Westerlands, he takes the stronghold of Ashmark before moving on to the Crag. It is not known if Lord Daemon Marbrand is in attendance. Now onto the Storm of Swords. We know that Sir Adam has been made commander of the City Watch. Tyrion considers him a shrewd choice. Adam is concerned with paying 4,400 gold cloaks, but on the command of Queen Cersei he is not allowed to fire any of them. He also feels Lord Tywin's anger when he can't find the missing squire Tyrek Lannister, who was lost in the riots of King's Landing. Also around this time, he finds the crystals of the High Septon's crown, who was killed during the riots. When deserters of the Blackwater return to the barracks, Tywin orders Sir Adam to break their knees to prevent them from running again. Sir Adam attends the wedding of Sansa Stark to Tyrion Lannister, and he is a part of the group that accompanies Tyrion to meet the delegation of Dorne to add political weight to the Lannister party. At the royal wedding, he gifts King Joffrey a pair of silver spurs and cautions him to be careful with his new Valyrian steel blade Widow's Wail. Sir Adam provides guard for the royal couple during a public appearance at the Great Sept of Baelor. He planned to deliver a toast at the wedding, but Joffrey dies, choking before he could do so. Sir Adam provides escort and guard for Tyrion, and he is arrested and accused for murder. He also escorts Tyrion on the final day of his trial. Later on, in A Storm of Swords, when Sir Jaime Lannister arrives back in King's Landing without a sword hand, he asks Sir Adam, his childhood friend, to help him practice with his left hand. He selects Adam because he trusts him not to publicise his new weakness. Sir Adam beats Jaime easily, disarming him 3 times and leaving him battered and bruised. When we come to A Feast for Crows, and after Lord Tywin's death at the hands of his son Tyrion, or so everyone believed, which is of course Tyrion, as Sir Adam Marbrand and the City Watch stand guard during the funeral. Trying to discover how Tyrion escapes the Black Cells, both Adam and Jaime link the dwarf to Rugen, a missing jailer, which is of course Varys. Sir Adam searches for Rugen in the brothels on the Street of Silk, but has no success. Sir Jaime also tasks Adam with the organising the guard and tasting of King Tommen's food. I have to imagine that was rather a mundane job. When Jaime returns to the Riverlands on order of his sister to retrieve prisoners at Harrenhal, both Sir Ilyn Payne and Sir Adam Marbrand accompany him. Sir Adam is happy to leave the Gold Cloaks and again command the Outriders. When at Hayford, Adam reports his inability to find Tyrek Lannister, who is technically now the Lord of Hayford by marriage to the infant Lady Ermesand Hayford. Jaime replaces Adam with Ilyn as his sparring partner, preferring the muted silence. Adam's Outriders are troubled by wolves, and one of his men has his horse run off and killed by her pack. Bit of hint at Nymeria there. When at Darry, Adam charms a woman seated next to him during the feast there. He certainly does seem to have a charm when it comes to the ladies. When talk turns to the death of Merrit Frey at the hands of outlaws, Sir Adam repeats the rumour that Lord Beric Dondarrion heads a group of outlaws and cannot be killed. Of course, that's the Brotherhood without banners. When they arrive at Riverrun, which is under siege again, Jaime tasks Sir Adam with inspecting the perimeter of the camp after Sir Davin Lannister reports several foraging parties have gone missing. During Jaime's unsuccessful parley with the Blackfish Sir Brendan Tully, The Blackfish insults Jaime as a cripple and suggests that he name Adam as a champion in his place. Later, Sir Adam Marbrand participates in Sir Jaime's war council. He suggests a night raid using rowboats with muffled oars and grapnels to climb the walls of Riverrun and open the gates from the inside. He proposes that he leads the raid himself, proving that he is one of Lannister's most daring commanders, while the Rivers believes that Sir Brynden will not be fooled by such tactics. When the Blackfish escapes Riverrun, Sir Adam Marbrand commands the search to the south of the Red Fork of the Trident, and that is all we have of Sir Adam and House Marbrand in the current books. Aside from his father, Lord Daemon, who is scarcely mentioned, Sir Adam is our sole view into this house. I've always been intrigued by Sir Adam. He's always been a cool character to me. I've always liked his relationship with the Lannisters, and I really hope we get to see him more often in the Winds of Winter and following books. On to the second house. Now, Darry is a name you may have heard numerous times throughout the story, but oddly enough, for what important parts they have played in recent history, they haven't played a super important role in the events of Song of Ice and Fire. Yet. House Darry is a noble house from the Riverlands. Historically, they have been one of the more powerful houses of the Trident until the fall of the Targaryens. Their sigil is a black ploughman on a brown field, and unfortunately their words have not appeared yet. Their lordly seat, Castle Darry, is considered a small castle. In A Game of Thrones and A Feast for Crows, both of those mention it being situated south of the Trident River, about half a day's ride. In history, the Darrys have been embroiled in Targaryen shenanigans throughout their reign. The castle was burned by Vhagar during the Dance of the Dragons. In the first Blackfire Rebellion, Lord Darry destroyed the Black Dragon sign of the Clanking Dragon, which is later known as the Inn at the Crossroads, where Catelyn arrests Tyrion Stark. The Demon of Darry, a famed Lord of Darry, once became a famous Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, but his name has not yet been given. During Robert's Rebellion, the Darrys chose to side with the Targaryens over the Baratheons and even their liege lords, the Tullys. Sir Jonathan Darry, alongside Sir Barristan Selmy of the Kingsguard, were sent to rally the remnants of John Connington's defeated army at the Stony Sept after the Battle of the Bells. 3 Darrys died during the Battle of the Trident, including Sir Jonathan. At the end of the war, Sir William Darry, the Master at Arms of the Red Keep, departs to Dragonstone with Queen Rhaella and the young boy Viserys, and later fled to Braavos with Viserys and his younger sister Daenerys. He died an old man in Braavos. When we come to A Song of Ice and Fire, we first hear of the Darrys from Viserys. He believes they will rally to him should he arrive on Westeros. He was likely right. The Darrys have always been loyal to the Targaryens, and it is safe to assume that they would have done so. When the royal contingent comes south from Winterfell, they stop at Castle Darry. Sir Raymond, the Lord of Darry, is present when Arya Stark is brought before King Robert for punishment after the attack on Prince Joffrey. Later on, he is sent by Lord Hoster Tully alongside Sir Mark Piper to Sir Carl Vance to King's Landing to receive permission to hunt down the Mountain who has been ravaging their lands. Sir Raymond Darry becomes a part of Lord Beric Dondarrion's group, but in the Riverlands their party is ambushed by the Mountain and Raymond is slain at the Battle of the Mummers Ford. Later on, in A Game of Thrones, both Mark Piper and Carl Vance arrive at Riverrun with Raymond's son, the young Lyman Darry, who is now Lord. Lord Lyman attends the council at Riverrun where Robb is crowned the King of the North and the Trident. Young Lyman assures that he will never call a Lannister king. He might call a Targaryen king in the future though, or queen, perhaps. In a clash of kings, Lord Lyman returns to his home where they manage to recapture Darry from the stationed Westermen. However, only a fortnight later, Sir Gregor Clegane the Mountain descends upon the castle and sacks it. The 8-year-old Lord Lyman is slain alongside all of the other defenders, and with his death the male line of Darrys are extinguished. So maybe they won't be rallying to any Targaryens in the future. Nothing else really happens concerning the Darrys or their home for a while. It's mentioned that Sir Helmund Tallheart retakes the castle from the Lannister garrison, and Roose Bolton tells him that King Rob has ordered the surrendered garrison to be executed, put the castle to the torch, and leave. After the Battle of Blackwater, King Joffrey awards his kin, Sir Lancel Lannister, the lands, rights and castle of House Darry, thus creating the branch House Lannister of Darry. This is arranged by Tywin Lannister to thank his loyal brother Sir Kevan, who was Lancel's father. Throughout Storm of Swords and the rest of the War of the Five Kings, Darry is left lordless and lawless, despite Sir Lancel being given the lordship. Tom of Seven Streams and the Brotherhood Without Banners accuses the Hound of the deaths of Sir Raymond and his son, the young Lord Lyman, although, of course, it was the work of his brother, the Mountain. Merritt Frey thinks that his marriage with Mariah Darry, the daughter of a previous Lord Darry, was unfortunate, as the Darrys lost all their prominence after Robert's rebellion. Because Castle Darry was occupied by outlaws after the Northmen's departure, Sir Kevan Lannister sends Sir Harwin Plum to expel them. Kevan marries his son Lancel to Amory Frey, the eldest daughter of the female heir to Darry, to strengthen his claim over the lands. She brings with her to Darry a score of Freys, including her mother, the Darry-born Mariah, as mentioned, Merritt Frey's wife. Together, both Kevan and Lancel rebuild the castle, but depart soon after disagreements with his son and his new religious zeal. So Jaime Lannister spends the night at Darry on their way to the siege of Riverrun. Jaime recalls that he and Tyrion found hidden Targaryen tapestries when the royal contingent stayed at Darry on their way to Winterfell in the first book. This proves that Darry, right up until the events of A Song of Ice and Fire, were Targaryen loyalists. We come to our third house now. House Swann of Stonehelm are Marcher Lords from the Stormlands. And what are Marcher Lords, you ask? Well, Marcher Lord is the name given to the lords of both the Stormlands and the Reach within the Dornish Marches. Historically, they have defended against Dorne. Their castle of Stonehelm is located on the Red Watch region of the Marches, on Cape Wrath along the coast of the Sea of Dorne. It was built to oversee the Slain, a major river route in the Stormlands. Their words are not known, but their sigil is two battling swans, one black, one white. The known members of House Swann during the time of the books include Lord Julian, Sir Donald, his heir, and Sir Balon Swann of the Kingsguard. Also Ravella Swann, who is married to Lord Theomar Smallwood. House Swann are an old house regarded as proud, powerful and cautious. They have governed their lands for a very long time. Due to controlling the Slane River, they are a rich house and are likely the second most powerful house in the Stormlands behind the Baratheons. Although House Caron claim to be the oldest of the Marcher Lords, just like the Swans do as well. During the Dance of the Dragons, Sir Byron Swann was killed by Syrax and Vhagar. In the Hedge Knight novella, Lord Gawain Swann competes in the Ashford tourney, losing to Prince Valar Targaryen. Gawain ignores Dunk's request to fight for him in the Trial of Seven. Sir Barristan the Bold squired for Sir Manfred Swann. We first hear of House Swann in A Game of Thrones. Sir Balon Swann is one of the outstanding knights in the Hounds tourney. He is among the 3 finalists of the archery competition. Sir Balon is part of King Robert's hunt, but returns to King's Landing before Robert's accident with the boar. In A Clash of Kings, Lord Julian is one of the few Stormlords that agrees to receive Davos Seaworth and even breaks bread with him. He does not respond to Stannis' demands, however. In the War of the Five Kings, Lord Julian pleads illness and takes no part. His sons do, and they represent Stonehelm in other several causes. However, the heir of Stonehelm, Sir Donald, is first sworn to Renly and then sides with Stannis after Renly's death. He is wounded in the Battle of Blackwater. He yields to Sir Elwood Hart and is ransomed before swearing fealty to King Joffrey. Sir Balon is part of the royal procession to see Princess Marcella off to Dorne. He defends the procession during the riots of King's Landing. Sir Balon is known for his skills with a Morning Star. He is later named to the Kingsguard, replacing Sir Preston Greenfield. Balon is one of the 3 Kingsguard that fights during the Blackwater. He leads Lannister forces alongside Tyrion with Sir Mandon Moore. He is the only one of the 3 to make it back inside the city walls when Stannis temporarily overwhelms them. After the battle, Sir Balon and other Kingsguard knights spend 6 hours knighting more than 600 men. During a storm of swords, Sir Balon is called up as the first witness against Tyrion Lannister in the death of King Joffrey. Although Balon does not believe Tyrion was guilty, he does tell the court that he hit him on the day of King's Landing. That Tyrion hit Joffrey on the day of the King's Landing riots. When Sir Jaime Lannister returns to the city, he notes that Sir Balon is well suited to the White Cloak and regards him as a good and valiant knight, perhaps the only honourable member among them. When Lord Commander Jaime holds a Kingsguard meeting, he asks Balon what he would do if his brother, Sir Donald, attacked King Tommen. Balon promises not to do as the Kingslayer did, and betray his king. In A Feast for Crows, Sir Balon is assigned as Tommen's primary Kingsguard. He is abruptly reassigned by Cersei to bring Prince Doran Martell the head of the mountain, though Cersei also commands him to carry out another secret assignment. In order to hide the fate of Sir Aris Oakheart of the Kingsguard, as well as the attack on Princess Marcella, Doran Martell orders the noble houses of Dorne to delay Balon's arrival. The Wiles keep him hunting and hawking for 8 days. He is feasted by the Ironwoods for a fortnight. Lady Jourdain arranges games in his honour at the Tor, with Lady Nemella Toland intent on outdoing her at Ghost Hill. In A Dance of Dragons, Sir Balon arrives at Sunspear and presents them Sir Gregor's head, or his skull. A feast is held for him. Doran's daughter, Arianne Martell, attempts to flirt with him, but he resists her, of course, swearing celibacy in the Kingsguard. Areo Hota remarks that he is a more formidable opponent and more of a capable fighter than his former sworn brother, Sir Aris Oakheart. The secret assignment from Cersei was for Balon to bring Marcella back to King's Landing in the guise of visiting her kingly brother. A retainer of Dornishmen were to come back with him. Doran wants them to go by boat, but Balon remarks that journey might be dangerous. The plan was, on their way back, there was to be an ambush in the name of Tyrion Lannister, and Trystane Martell is to be killed. So Balon is supposed to blame Tyrion for the boy's death. Doran knows that Balon does not like his orders, but he is sworn to obey. To stop this scheme, Balon is brought to Marcella and finds out about her injuries by the hands of Darkstar, Sir Gerald Dane. Marcella lies under Arianne's direction and claims that Darkstar also killed Sir Aris Oakheart, even though it was actually Areo Hota. She begs Balon to bring Darkstar to justice. Balon writes back to King's Landing about all this, and now he is currently hunting for Darkstar in Dorne. The last we hear about any Swan, that is, and I really hope we get to see this unfold in the Winds of Winter. Darkstar is quite an intriguing character. Balon is also a pretty cool character. He should get more screen time, as it were. It'd be really nice to see this hunt that they've got going on. So as we wrap up on House Swan, we wrap up on this episode of Where in the World. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have found at least some of what I said helpful in your quest to gain as much knowledge of this world as possible. Remember to find me on Twitter at GoWesteros. Drop me a comment, a tweet, some advice, some criticism, or even just to say hello. I've been Jack, your host, and I will see you all very soon.